So over the past 3 months, I've been working on my other channel, but at the same time, I've been marking down a lot of notes, making different graphs, and just kind of planning out everything because I was testing like all these different systems, and now I need a way to put them all together. So one of the things I've been doing before I get into the classes, what this video is about, um, this whole Word doc here, and I just keep adding to it, is all the workflows and all the systems that I have about 10 pages, and there's still a lot more to go, in addition to all the classes, which I'll get to in a second. All these systems, and they really need to work together, and I need a clear way to do it. Um, but for this video, I want to go over the 18 different classes that I want to add to this game. And so let's get started here. So for this skill tree, I used draw.io, and how this is set up, you could see here it goes from red to orange to yellow, green, blue, purple. And this is basically your color wheel. And just opposite. So I start with red on the top. So here it's like this, red through green through blue. And this coincides with the actual attributes which I've made videos on in the past. We have strength, we have spirit, which is orange, luck, green is agility, blue is intellect, and purple is fortitude. So how I did it was first I made the colors, and then I thought about which classes would fit into each of the attributes. And then I'm a big fan of multiples of three, so I wanted to make them even more unique, different subclasses within these classes. And the plan is to have a different NPC character, at least one, in the game that fits each of these categories. So those are the NPCs, but the player, in normal games, you pick a class, and then you're that class for the rest of the game. In this one, I want the players to start off pretty much like in the neutral area and choose where they want to start out and work with any one of these classes to learn the game and how each of the classes interact with one another. Now I'll get into each individual class in another video because it's pretty in depth, and I have a lot of different ideas for each one. But let me just go through the general overview of what I plan to do for each class, starting with the Brawler, which is inspired by the fighting pits in Fable, where it's hand-to-hand combat. So I broke it out to strikes, rage, and mobility. Strikes would be punches, kicks, maybe combo attacks. So I made a video, if you guys want to check it out, about fist combat, and that's kind of where I got the Brawler type combat from. I got to play some different games, like maybe Sleeping Dogs or some of the other melee type games, to really get a good feel for the combat. Because I have the basic animations down, but it doesn't really feel great to do the combat or the targeting. But that's for another video. Rage, usually like sacrificing defense or health for more damage, and mobility, maybe like the dodge roll, or maybe some kind of like blocking or parry. That's basically it. And the Brawler class would be mainly a fighting class, and going out and maybe doing the different fight clubs, and then have like in Harvest Moon there's different tournaments or festivals. So I'm thinking maybe having like a tournament of champions or something, where all like the greatest fighters or whatever come to this one arena in the world, and they all compete in like a tournament. I won't go into again too much detail, but let's just skip ahead. So we have Adventure, which would be like mainly like spirit, strength attributes, because you need more energy and you need strength to do mining and woodcutting, in addition to energy for just be able to swing the pickaxe, swing the axe. And then foraging, I don't think you'll need really energy for, but it will. I think it fits into like the adventure type class. You're always exploring, going to forest, picking up different wildflowers and things like that. So that's the adventurer class. Monk So how I have it here is like the Warlock and the Monk will like the dark and the light, and that'll be like some conflict within the game. And it will focus on like Holy, which would be like healing, Spirit, which would be like the Spirit stat, which would like increase resources, energy, mana, and health. Prayer, which is more like maybe like the auras in Diablo 2 if you play them. It pretty much you have an aura on, and it gives you a buff, and you'll only can have, let's say, one prayer active per time. Maybe I'll add skills or perks. Well, again, the perks are another video. To further enhance that, maybe you could have two active. But that's the monk class. Fisherman, basically fishing, trapping. If you ever played Stardew Valley, I like the idea of being able to build traps and just set them like on the coastline, and then pick up your whatever you captured the next day. And then boats, I thought was a cool idea. So I have water and swimming in the game, but I want to add maybe the ability to ride boats and maybe start off with like a raft or something like that, and then be able to build more advanced boats with maybe propellers and be able to go into different like deeper into the ocean, which will be like bigger fish, and then maybe different islands that you can explore as well. Now this is just the the big picture. I know everyone says keep the scope small, but again, that's just my plan. I don't know how long it'll take, but let's continue here. So gambler, mostly focused on luck, being that it's all yellow. So loot, I went over a video about the luck where you have magic find, which increases your chance of rare loot. Um, Critical hit chance, the great, if you've played any RPGs, the greater chance to actually get a critical hit on a normal strike in combat. And then random events, which I think is cool. Like Fallout has maybe like double experience at a small chance of that, or you know, there's different random events in like Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon, and like maybe someone visits you, someone you get something in the mail, like a new recipe or something like that. So when I make the random events, the gambler will have a greater chance to actually experience these events. Down the line, rogue. So this is similar to your normal rogue, and if you play World of Warcraft, focused on stealth, theft, and assassin. So I made a video recently about, or not recently, but maybe 6-7 months ago, about lock picking in addition to crouching and stealth. Um, and if you guys want to check that out, that's kind of the thought behind it. In addition to, now I didn't do anything with daggers or assassin class yet or subclass, but that'll likely be like sneak attack damage or double damage on if unseen. So those are the thoughts there. In addition to Fable or Skyrim, where you can sneak into a house by like lock picking and then steal certain items, and the more you do it, the less reputation you'll have, or less if you're if caught, less bond you'll have with that particular villager or village, whatever you're stealing from, which ties into the whole reputation system, which we'll go over in another time. Ranger. So this would be like your normal ranger. We focus on like bow attacks, range attacks, speed, mobility. So maybe like increase speed for a short time or permanent. Can have pets, and I was debating between the druid and the ranger class to which will focus more on the taming side. So I think druids might be make pacify enemies or pacify animals to be able to tame them more easily. But I think ranger will be like the specific like taming class where you have quests to tame certain pets, similar to World of Warcraft. And then again, range, so increase damage with bows or increase attack speed with bows. That's the ranger class. Druid, so I have like tame here, but it should be I think here. So the druid will focus on earth, not only like earthquake type damage, but also be able to increase the quality of your crops or increase the speed at which your crops grow. Anything to do with like nature or earth. I had like an entangle spell that I made early on. If you guys want to check that out, and also a video where you could turn into certain animals. So that's the shape shifting side of things. So like turning into the rabbit, which I've made, and again, eventually being able to learn to transform into different animals that you're able to encounter. In addition to Spirit of the Wild, which would be more like controlling certain animals in the wild, and maybe even summoning like a spirit type or a spirit wolf or something like that, or maybe even transform into a spirit type wolf in a game like the shaman in WoW, World of Warcraft. Okay, this is onto the mage. So lightning, water, and fire. So this is your lightning spells, water spells, fire spells, in addition to utility spells, which would be such as water, like you water crops with mana instead of waiting for rain or using your energy to water them. And then fire, making a campfire you can cook at, or throw fireballs at your enemies. I have some teleport, which might be in the lightning area, but we will continue. And dark would be for Warlock. This is the dark class that would deal damage with dark type like spells. Uh, in addition to control, such as like fear or mind control, or um, controlling different maybe NPCs or enemies. It's more of a dark type class, which we'll get into another time. Um, and then summoning would be summoning skeletons, which I've made in a separate video, and being able to have those attack your enemies, and perks might be able to allow you to control more at once. Guardian. So this is like your guard in your town, or even like in villages or like cities where you have like stronger guardians with like super strong armor and helmets and sword shield. That's how I picture it. And they're focused on defense, life, and I won't get into again the type quests, but that's generally the class, and that's where fortitude comes in. Reducing damage overall. Okay, finally in the outer ring we have warrior, which is more like I would think like the barbarian in Diablo 2, which is based on like offensive attacks. Let's say like the two swords. I made like the blade spin, and I think the warrior class would be focused on that, and it's blended between the strength and the fortitude attribute. So it'll have like increased life and defense, in addition to dealing a decent amount of damage. In addition to having battle shouts, which is maybe like again like the war cries in Diablo 2. I heavily influenced by Diablo 2 if you didn't know, from the combat side, which allows you to have like temporary life boosts or damage increase or damage reduction depending on the shout you use, and you'll be able to gain these with skill books. I think is the plan for all these. Okay, so down to the crafting side of things. So in the addition to mostly those combat and gathering, we'll have different crafting. So we'll have smith, focus on like heavy armor, metal armor, weapons, jewelry, which you can equip. Farmer, which will focus on crops, animals, cows, chickens, and then also riding, horse riding. So you've seen these in if you've seen it in my past videos. I focused on I did horse riding. I made some cows you could increase the bond with, and the growing of crops was a big hit so far on my channel. One of the first videos I've made that was very popular in comparison to my other videos. Leather worker. This focuses on the leather armor, which usually will have higher attributes of luck and agility. They will be randomized, but mainly focus on those two stats. In addition, we have saddles, which you'll be able to equip to your horse to increase riding speed and stamina and different things like that. And then backpacks, which you only could have one backpack I'm planning on at any given time, but your backpack will allow you to carry more items or have more item slots, is the plan. So right now I have a basic inventory. I just have to add some more slots to be able to put a backpack in there and then have that increase the number of inventory slots you have. Okay, chef. So the chef, I was thinking about doing alchemist and cook separately, but I decided to just make it one whole category and just make the subclasses divided into food, different food that will grant, energy when eaten, and other types of bonuses depending on the tier of the recipe. So the higher tier, the more bonuses you would get, more unique bonuses. Animal treats. This will help in this area here with the Druid and the Ranger. When you can give, let's say, a wild rabbit some food, um, and maybe the different treats will be tailored to the different animals. So let's say the animal treat of the rabbit will have it eating there a little bit longer, so you could tame it in time. Um, or maybe the animal treat for a wolf will pacify it for like 5 seconds or something like that, so it won't attack you. So you have a little bit of time to start taming. And then alchemy is just your normal potions, health, energy, mana, and to give you like an instant boost to recovery there. And then again, the higher tiers might give added bonus effects, but I haven't thought about those specifically yet. Okay, last two here. We have Tailor, cloth armor. So craft armor that is light, but focus on intellect and spirit. So more spell damage and regeneration of the resources. Nets I have not done yet, but the plan is maybe to have like nets encompass the fisherman trapping, like nets that could be you could use to trap different fish or shellfish, in addition to bug catching. So you could have a bug net to capture some different like butterflies or different insects to be able to use those in different crafting recipes for the chef. And then bags. This is similar to the backpacks, but I think we'll have more bag slots because I think I'm going to have one backpack slot and just have different tiers of those. And then for the bags, have different slots, but maybe it'll grant 4 extra slots instead of backpacks. Will grant like 20 to 30 range, and bags might add like maybe 2 to 8. But you'll have more slots for bags. Again, similar to World of Warcraft, how they have it. I really like that system, and being able to craft your own bags would be pretty cool in this game. In addition to, I think you'll be able to find certain bags as well, depending on the enemy that you kill. But again, that's something for the future. And then last but not least, we have Engineer, which is focused on creation of the tools, which will be used by many classes. So Adventurer will use the pickaxe and regular axe, which the Engineer could craft for the Adventurer. And also tools such as like the watering can for the farmer, or animal tools like shears for the sheep. Let's say like, I don't know, milk pail for the cow, but different tools that can be used. I'm thinking like maybe like a lantern for the mines as well, helping the adventurer out. And I haven't thought of it yet, but maybe also fishing rods would be good in this section. I don't want to overwhelm the one class with like everything possible. I kind of like want to spread it out to make it even. Um, but that's for the tools. The technology would be things like maybe sprinklers for the farming aspect, so you can create some copper sprinklers. This is similar to an idea I got from Stardew Valley, and maybe like a propeller for the boat for the fishermen to equip, and different types of technology which will need not only components but also ore from the adventurer, or copper bar or something to make copper wire to craft different technologies. And then finally building. So I made a video about constructing different houses. I haven't decided if I'm going to be doing that yet, or just making like pre-made buildings that require like and stone and wood in order to craft. And then maybe make the engineer, as he gets better at it, more proficient, which means he'll use less resources, while another player who, let's say, is a gambler and wants to build a house, he still can do it, but if he's not doesn't have great like building or crafting skill, which would be like gained through doing more crafting and doing some like quests with an engineer, he could still build things, but it's going to cost more resources. So I want to just make clear that you're not subject to be into like forced into any specific class. You kind of just, the plan is for you to like pick where you want to start out, and then maybe you could do a quest or help out one of these classes that are in the game, and then learn about that. And if you want to go further into that class, you can. You just continue on with the quest line. If not, you could just go to try out some of the other classes that you're going, all within the same game. You don't have to restart, but you kind of just gradually get better as you go, and you can see which class feels the best for you, or most likely it's going to be a hybrid between multiple classes. So you might have like a stealth ranger. You might focus on the stealth side of the rogue, and then be able to deal like double damage with like bows, something like that. Or you could be like a tailor. I don't even know. There's just so many like possibilities. You could be a gambling tailor here, along with some mage type spells, and it's all viable. So you can be a tailor. You can craft certain items for yourself to equip, and then put a lot of your stats into luck. So you'll have increased critical chance for your spells, in addition to the equipment that you can make for yourself for increased intellect, which increases spell damage even more. Or you want to focus on animals. So you could focus on being a chef, make animal treats, and then go out use those animal treats to tame certain animals, and then you could you become more of a farmer where you have your livestock and pets, and they produce different items for you, depending on obviously the animal. So I feel like this video has been long enough, but eventually I want to make a video about each class that I've made. So far I've done, let me just go through the list here. So I've done strikes, I've done mining and woodcutting, I've done healing spells for the monk, and some fist type strikes, which kind of coincide with the brawler. I've done fishing, nothing with boats yet. I've done critical hit chance, loot, and not events, but I've done these two. I've done picklocks and stealth. I haven't done bows yet, so nothing really with a ranger class or a speed boost. I did a little bit with pets with the beagle to have you follow around. You could throw the ball to him, but that was early on. Oh, I do have the dodge roll, which would be, I don't know if it's going to be for the ranger class or a brawler, but TBD. Druid, I did the shapeshifting into the animal. I did the entanglement spell. Mage, I did for the druid. Actually, I did the tornado spell too. I did ice orb and fireball for the mage. Lightning, I didn't do anything yet. Warlock, I did the summoning of a skeleton. No specific dark attacks yet, like fear or like a shadow bolt type thing. Guardian, nothing really. I mean, I did the damage reduction with the fortitude stat, so I guess that counts. So I just need to make some specifics. I did sword and shield, so you could dual wield. And warrior, the blade spin. Smith, I made you actually for these four. I made it you can craft different armor and weapons, so that's that. Farmer, I did the plants and riding and livestock, because I particularly like this farming. I did crafting of tools, building a little bit, and then chef I did early on, making some like tomato soup. So overall I did a little bit for each class, and I'm going to continue to delve more deeply into each class, and let me know what you guys think. My plan is to make a video maybe each week on each of the classes and try to improve each of them as well as I go. But that's about it. This video has been long enough, but thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or comments below.